Hello guys, very good morning to you. So I'm going to start creating Google Sign-in project for now, as you have requested, and many of you have complained that Google Sign-in is not properly working. Okay, so let's start and move on. Create a new project. Let's name it as design. And we need to add Firebase. So we have to rename the package name. If you want to rename, you can rename. If you don't want, and you want the same thing, then there is no need to change the package name. Okay, so as I already created the so it's I have already created the Firebase console project, so I'm doing exactly the same. Okay, so now we have opened the project, and at first you have to enable the library. Okay, enable the app compare first, then let's design the welcome page. It's not a welcome page, it's a login page. Okay, so I don't need a toolbar, so I'm going to uncheck that, and there is no need of keyboard settings, so it's set to be hidden. Then first we have to drag down linear vertical layout and name it as base. I'm certainly using this ID to know which is which. So if you want to add some kind of different name, yeah, it's okay, it's perfectly okay for you to use that. Okay, so I'm just going to mention that this layout gravity is set to horizontal and set to vertical. So I don't require any background colors for this, so I'm just setting normal none. Okay, I'm just going to set the text view. This text view has to match parent width and the height as wrap content. So it's also center vertical and center horizontal gravity, and the text is greetings. This is a Google login feature. Click on button. So click on button to start login. So I'm just showed the message to the customer user who is going to use this app, and I'm setting this text size as .asp. Okay, so now let's move to the button. So I'm not going to design the entire button like Google, so instead I can change the Google login feature button without editing it. So it's thing that I will share with the description. Okay, whenever if you don't have any times, or if you want to use the normal Google sign in button. Just copy this and in the convert button, you have to convert button into this. Okay, after that there is no need, and you have to edit the text here. So sign in. Okay, so text size we have to change it to 18 sp. Okay, it's better than look. So now what I'm going to do is I just want to make sure that Firebase Auth and Firebase Google Login feature has to be implemented, but I don't need well, at first I had to make sure the application gets run. So I'm just setting the button only right now. I just want to make sure that this application will not have any errors first. And also I'm going to get the SHA1 fingerprints from by installing this app. Okay, so it's right now compiling. It may take some time, so we have to wait. I know it takes so much time to build the app, so it's now built. So I'm going to install this app. So it's installing right now. I'm going to open that. Right now this thing has occurred and the button has occurred, but I don't mention at the Google sign in button. It's normal button only. Okay, so that's it. So we have to take the fingerprint. For that we have to use DevTools Pro. Okay, I will give the link of this application, and just make sure to download this version. After opening this app, just click on app info. This will show the app list that is available with your device. Just gonna search what is your app. My app name is G-Sign. I'm just selecting this. So I'm going to select the signature SH1 and copy this. Just it's enough. That's it. So now just I'm just going to log in with the console. Just reload. Just a minute. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to add the fingerprint with this project. Okay, so in the certificate print text edit, so you have to paste the fingerprint ID which has been copied from the DevTools Pro, and then save. Okay, so I have to say that you'll get these thing. Okay, and that's it. So we are now ready to set the Firebase details with the project. Okay, open the Sketchware and go to the library in Firebase. We have to give every details that requires. So here's my project ID. I'm just going to copy that and paste it here, and I'm just going to get my app ID. So just copy this thing, copy this and paste it here. and its web API key, and go to that and get this thing, copy and paste it here. Okay, listen up. And we have entered project ID, app ID, API key. So click on next, and we don't require any storage URL for right now because I'm not going to use the storage bucket first. So I'm just going to click on next without entering, and we have to review everything that we have entered a proper thing or not. Just make sure that it's showing it's same as project console project. Okay, so it's all same that I have entered. So it's time to save. So it has been saved. So let's get back and change this normal button into Google sign in button. As previously said that this ID will be given in the description. Okay, this is the name of the button. It is a normal button, and we are going to change it to Google sign in button. Okay, so I have changed that. No, any injection is not required for that. Okay, so after that we have to create a components which are via Firebase Auth, which is required to log in user in the Firebase to access Firebase. Okay, and another thing is Google login. This is mostly required because we are going to get the customer's email or Google sign in account. Okay, using this only, not the Firebase auth. Firebase auth is generally used to log the user to get the access or to get the access to our server, which is Firebase server, like Firebase database and Firebase storage. Whatever the service that we have, we are allowing the customer who is registered with us, they can access and they can write or retrieve the data. Okay, so we just need to make sure an account picker and on account picker cancel. These two events are mostly required. Okay, and that's all. So right now I'm moving to on create activity. In on create activity, I have created my own blocks. This block will be shared with you guys. Okay, so here it is shown properly that they should be placed on create. These two blocks should be placed on create only. Okay, so here Google sign in option is a variable, but we don't have any variable reverting to the Google signing options. So I'm just going to create our own object. So Google sign in options, make sure it should be same name. Okay, so it is Google sign in options, and name it as options. Please make sure the variable shouldn't get conflicted with any other variables in the activity. Okay, so here next it is required that Firebase Google login, we have created a component Firebase Google login. So just drag it here Okay, and again the Google sign-in options is required. I'm just going to copy this thing and paste it here. Okay, so we have to provide the key. It's a secret key. Sorry, it's a client ID. So through which the application get the customer's account details, everything. Okay, so for acquiring this ID, we just need to go to authentication section, and in sign in method just click on Google, and in there is web SDK configuration. In it, the web client ID is available. Just select all the values which has been showed in web client ID. So just copy that and paste it here. That's it. The on-create thing has been completed. So whenever the customer or user clicks the Google login button, we have to redirect the customer to the account selection team. Okay, so for that, Firebase Google login, start account picker. Okay, here it is user here. Okay, okay, so here it is Firebase Google login. So just make sure properly inserted everything properly. Okay, so whenever the customer is clicking the button, it will start account picker. So which means the component gets executed. At first, there are two conditions. One, if account has been picked. Two, if account picker is cancelled. So we have main work on account picked, not on the cancel. If your customer cancel, there is nothing. So if you want to make sure that you want to show the customer that your account pick has been cancelled, then you can toss the message in account cancel. If you want to make sure that Google customers pick the account which has been Google logged in right now, but if you want but he needs to get access to the app. So for that you have to sign in. You don't need to sign in the app user to the app. You just need to authenticate the user in the app. Okay, so I'm sorry for English, but my bad English is my English is so bad. Okay, okay, so let's move on. And I know there is a lot of background noises, and I'm sorry for that. Okay, so here it shows try with task. Both the both this thing are the same variable, but make sure the Google sign-in account task should be on the second one. Okay, it can also get inserted into first, but if inserted in first, it will get error. So make sure it should be in the second block. Okay, so we don't have any custom variable for Google sign-in account, so we just need to make sure create a new custom variable. Okay, so Google sign in account. Google sign in account, and I name the variable as SG account. So I just created the variable, custom variable, so I'm just going to drag it here. Okay, so that's it. And so right now what should I need to do? Okay, there's one more thing. The customer has been clicked the account, but he is not signed with the app. Okay, he is not getting into the app's account. Okay, for that we have to process the customer details, and we have to authenticate the user with the Firebase app. Okay, so we need token ID. For acquiring the token ID, we have created this block, and we have to create a more block for further authentication with the Firebase app. Okay, so click on more block and create Firebase. I'm just going to name the Firebase app Google. So and you have to add a variable called a string. The string name is ID token, or whatever the name that you want you can add. So just create the more block. Okay, just return this more block and return the get token ID here. So in this we have to create we have to make sure the Google sign-in account SG account has to be selected for this. Okay, if you mistakenly set Google sign-in account as, then it's an error. Okay, if the customer has clicked the account and he is getting any errors regarding to the Google sign-in feature, then this will not properly work. Okay, if the customer selection is properly made and the Google sign-in account has been granted, then it will move to Firebase or Google. If suppose the customer's account is locked, or it is not validated properly, then he can't able to log in with the Google account. At that time it will show some error. So we can't able to get the error right now, so it's because of more block incompatibility. Okay, so we just need to know the customer that your account selection is failed. Okay, so I'm going to close the message if the customer's account is not picked. It is big, but it is not granted access to your application. Okay, so I'm just going to toss the message if the error account selection failed. Okay, now we need to move on to more block, because you know we have to log in the customer with the Firebase or another Google. Okay, so just move on and select the Google sign in. So here I have clearly shown that it should be in more block. Okay, at first you have to drag on this, and inside this, if login success, then else you have to mention this. Okay, so here you should take the ID token here. In the Firebase app, mark is here. Okay, so you don't need to draw any event listener from the Firebase app. Need you just need a component variable here. So just make sure that this has happened here. So if the customers click the account, it is granted to use in our application, and after that we are performing the authentication with Firebase auth. Okay, we are just going to authenticate the user to our app. So for that, Firebase authentication is used, and if the Firebase authentication is successful, then we have to do something. And if the login was not successful and it is not logged in, so at the time we have to show the error message. Okay, okay, let's move on. And okay, just wait a minute. Actually, I have to check for the details that I missed. Okay, okay, it is same as I previously said to you guys. Okay, so if the customers get logged in successful with the Firebase authentication method, so we just need to move into our activity. For that, we have to create a intent. So I just going to add a component of intent. Okay, so the intent name is I here. So just going to set screen, and I'm going to put extra key as I need to get the display picture and display name of the customer. And I don't need any flags, so I'm just going to close any flags that has been previously open. So after that, I'm going to stop this activity. Okay, so so I'm going to get the name in the image URL of the customer. So here I'm going to name is N and I. Okay, okay, just wait for some time, because okay, so we have created this thing, but we don't have created another activity, so I'm going to create another activity. So it's sign. Okay, please.
வரே
Okay.
வழியிலே நான் போறது.
Okay, just create this thing, and after that, you are going to get the customer's image and customer's name. Okay. Okay. Let's drag down this linear layer vertical. So I'm going to name it as base because I don't know this name base. Okay. So next I'm just going to get the customer's name and a customer's image. Okay. So I'm going to get the customer's image, which is 126 into 126 views. Okay, this is enough for that. Okay, so I'm just going to set the gravity for base as center horizontal. Okay, so on a text view here, text size should be 20 sp, and I'm going to set the margins top with 20. Okay, and a button to sign up. Okay, I'm also setting the margin for this. So for button values I have to set sign out. Here I have to create a component called Firebase Auth. Firebase Auth, it should be same as the name previously used. Okay, so here we don't require any event listeners for this. Okay, we have to require a variable. Okay, for that only I have created a mod. Okay, and that's it. That's it on the second activity. So in the first activity we have to get back and work on this. At first you have to get the instance on the Firebase or if any accounts has been lagging, so that will be shown, that will get instance with it. Okay, and after that we have to set the image and to set image and set text color. Sorry, it's a set text. Okay, so okay, I'm just going to get extra key from the previous previous activity. Please be honest. So here the key is I and here the key is M. Whenever the customers click the button, just gonna sign up the user. Okay, so here we are going to sign up the customer if the customer has clicked the logout button. Okay, and that's it. So make sure it is working properly. So I'm going to get to the event and in the mode block to the signed activity, and make sure you have to drag down this Google sign-in account SG account in the two blocks. Okay, so you have to show them a message if the login was not successful. In the else block you have to mention that login not successful. So just run this out right now. So it will take time, so I'm going to pause this video. Okay, right now it is compiled and built now. I'm going to install that application. It's now installing. So right now I'm opening the app. I'm going to click the Google sign in button. So it is working. So I'm going to select my app, select my email account. So it has logged in and move to the activity. I'm just going to click sign out. It will automatically get sign out. So whenever you're going to open the app again, it will not redirect directly, and it is perfectly working that whenever you sign with the account, it just get logged in and move to the activity. Okay, let's check the users who have been sent it. So here we have got my email ID, which has been logged in, which is by use of Firebase Authentication, not by the Google Authentication. Okay, so that's it, guys. I hope this problem will get resolved to use. Okay.